of Chavez Journalism.
Good morning, Minister.
And the only lady on the panel today. Sitting next to Marco is Ayo Zubaku. Ayo is Abuja Borochi. I hope I got that right. Abuja Borochi, TVC News. Good to see you. And of course, the last but not the least is Chijoke Okafo. Chijoke is of ADBN. Chijoke is good morning. So, Honorable Minister, here we are. We thought today would never come. There has been so much speculation in the media, so many insinuations that why is this man always at, having media chats? Is it the spokesperson of the government and all of that? And so, in some cases, too, some personal attacks. Oh, he's sick, he's been flown abroad, and all of that. Don't.
And what we are going to do in the future, it is my responsibility. I'm not a spokesperson for the government. I'm not talking about the federal government. I'm talking about the activities of the ministry of the federal capital territory. If I don't do, whose responsibility? Again, he talked about sorry screening. He talked about doing somebody that massive. We're all human beings. Everybody can fall sick any day, anytime. Two, I never felt sick. Going abroad. So these are things you don't need to pay attention to. And then somebody said that, oh, the president has banned me from having a media chat. It is the same dog news that you carry. Who is responsible of this? The same man who's been collecting money from people, and then my girls are listening to him. Oh, Sahara reporters carry this and that. How will president ban you of letter? So it's not everything you read or whatever you hear, you begin to take it serious.
But does it mean that you enjoy some special pleas with Mr. President, in the heart of Mr. President, such that you are about the only minister that is showcasing the achievements of
I don't want to say that. Everybody has your style.
Do you have the permission of the president to be doing what?
You need to go and apply to Mr. President that I want to tell the public what we are doing. In most cases, the president will, by the time the president is even watching and knowing what you are doing, you are doing this, I think we should do this way, right? So it is not whether you are the president line or this and that. No, it is your responsibility. You owe the public to tell them, look, this is what we are doing. If you don't do that, it is the same you that will complain that what's happened, nobody knows what's going on. Now we are doing that. And people are saying, oh, why is it telling everybody what is doing? It is our responsibility. It is our job.
Minister, talking about what you are doing, you just mentioned 20 days of projects, flagging up of projects. In terms of, what you've done in the past 2 years, we've seen that it's not just about flagging up projects, it's about timelines and commissioning them later. Are we going to be looking at some of these things come up in the next year again?
Not if we are not getting to next year. We are not going to get to next year. Yes, obviously, I have said here, in the third year anniversary of Mr. President, there will be a line of activities that we have to carry out. But before next year, there are also projects we have we've lined up that we have to, that we think should be completed, and then we have to commission. Like you said, 20 days is not 2 days. 20 days on stop, from Monday till Friday. From Monday till Friday. That shows that things are happening under the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As pertains to FCT, where the responsibility has been given to I and the Minister of State, I'm sure you are not gonna have good, 20 days, one project, other commissioning, flagging off. It has never happened. It has never happened. And we would have continued, but we said, look, let's take a break. Let's take a break, and then we'll come back. Now that will be focused purely on what we have done or what we are doing in the education sector.
Right, Honorable Minister, we've seen an influx of beggars into the federal capital territory. indiscriminate motor parks coming up. And people are asking also when are the new bus stations in Ugo and Mabushi going to come in place? And then issues of open grazing to the capital territory. How soon will you be dedicating attention to all of this?
I will talk about the influx of migrants, and I will not talk about the controversial. You said that here before. I said that is the issue of national security. Now, let's talk about the influx of migrants. I've told you that Abuja is at the center of how many states. Everybody wants to move down to Abuja. And you don't have that right to say, look, somebody should not move from Kaduna to Abuja. Somebody should not move from Niger to Abuja. Somebody should not move from Lokoja to Abuja. Somebody should not move from Nasarawa. Problem for us. But we're doing all the best we can to say, look, we have to send them back. But even when you do, they still come back. And then people will say, okay, why not get a place where you keep them? But it's not our responsibility. If you do that, then you're opening the floodgate of where everybody, wherever you are, will now say, look, Abuja is where we can go, and then they provide accommodation or shelter. It's a big problem for us. But we're doing all we can to see that we reduce that influx. When it's indiscriminate, we have to tell ourselves the truth. One of the reasons why we started building this bus terminal is because of the indiscriminate motor parks and so forth. So it is not as if that this indiscriminate taxi and motor parks started as WIKE. One of the reasons why we have to why we are funding this bus terminal franchises, we have operational problem, but they don't sort it out. I believe that the grace of God, before the end of the year, that we fully, start the operation of those bus terminals. But that does not mean that will stop it. No, but it will reduce until we build more bus terminals and taxis.
Let me take you up very quickly as a follow-up on the question he asked with national security, with the cattle grazing. I know that at the last media chat, you did say that it was a question of national security, and that if the national security advisor were to get involved, then perhaps we might be able to get a solution to it. Have there been any discussions in that regard?
Yes, discussions are going on. In fact, the Minister of Livestock was trying to provide where some of these cows be taken. Also, the environment of the Netiana and those other stakeholders, as I said, it's not something you can just come up and say, look, it has a lot of implications. And that's why I said it's a national security issue. I believe in the near future that will sort it out. But the use of livestock is collaborating with us and other security agencies to see that this to rest.
What sort of solutions are you thinking of?
What the only thing you can do is the right to government you can govern the right to. That's the only solution. That's the only solution.
All right, Honorable Minister, let me take you up on the issue of waste management, which is something that we've spoken about on this chat over and over again. You have said that it's a very tricky issue as well because a number of small operators who are not very competent have been the ones handling it.
Something we have our FCT electrical committee meeting like 12 today. So the process of that has been done and that we are wanted to do.
Let's talk about
So that will take care of the question.
Yes, let's talk about Guarimba attention from you. As in,
I don't know why they say
you
that.
are
Are you living in Dubai? Are you living in Guarimba? Why is it that I'm not getting attention? What attention do you want us to give them?
some of us will give them state of roads.
Everything cannot be done at the same time. Everything cannot be done. If you go to Guarimba, they're not going to mount, they're being done by CDC. So it's not correct when you say that.
lot of life.
Of course, they don't go in which, what's it called, they don't make up. What do you call it? Just as you're coming now, what do you call it? Not a backway. Before you get to the junction of the pavement, you also know There's a road for at the backyard. Not going on the lifetime. There's also a road being done by people coming from the daily down to a lifetime. So it's going on there.
Because I can speak, sorry, I can speak for your neighbors right from after your premises down is not, it's like you are not a lifetime.
It is not correct. I have just said
But
here.
it is correct.
Hold on, it's not correct. You cannot say that you must finish the whole road in lifetime same day. I just gave you an example. Just there, completed. And then they are now doing a bridge taken to the other community, which will finish December this year. And then I also told you that this one that we just flagged up, by Jonas Berger, what we call the Daughter Park way, is also in a lifetime. So I don't know what to do now.
What is
So,
the best?
we are concerned because of what's going on. Everybody wants to have the bit of the cake. But just be patient. Just be patient. It's like when like the insurance look at me before they went to one school. And then you came out on television and said, oh, public schools are not giving the attention. As if you've gone to all the schools. Whether you like it or not, even if you give us 10 years, what is important? Are there projects going on? If I tell you the latest people write, oh please sir, I know that your attention has not been called so. Please sir, we want you to come to some, which means people appreciate that something is going there. But have patience. When will you reach us?
Yeah,
Now,
I
I think
think
that
that
a couple of months ago, you had laid out some reforms concerning the administration of estate lands in the FCT.
What?
The administration of estate lands.
How?
Let the cities, because there's been news going around that the minister came into power and he has indeed disrupted the system and he's taken over lands. Do you care to speak
The
on that?
green
Because there are
areas,
allegations
parks,
by
and all of that.
Now, let me tell you, one of the problems we had, and which is very bad. Before now, what do you call it? And then what's the agreement? Somebody takes the land for the past 50 years for parks and garden. And then next thing you see application for conversion for comprehensive development. And government said, no, this is not what we expect. And we cannot allow that. And therefore, there was a ministerial policy, ministerial committee that was set up to look. I think we have to control this. Real estate, apply to the lands department, which will bring that application to the attention of the minister. If you want to carry on parks and garden, apply, and then it will come to the attention of the minister of the FCT. It is that now that you ask me, say, oh, the minister have come to carry our land. Which is your land? Show me the document that the land belongs to you. You remember before now, there was this problem between us, Sunrise, Baku, and the FCT. I went to Warren parties, River Park, and the FCT. But we have to protect them. It's okay. What we do is to give them the title as they own this area. The other side are not be developed. Please stop. This is you have no business with the FCT. And somebody comes and carries that propaganda. Oh, the minister is taking the land to do. The right thing must be done. And when you are doing that, you see all kinds of black men, they want papers that oh, I will say this and that. That will not affect us. That will not deter us. The right thing must be done.
So our discussion was going on between the administration and owners of River
You
Park.
see, one thing they go to court, the next thing they send people to come to the park. And what you have, well, let us go to court and hold it down before you know you will leave office. It's not our business.
So no discussion is going on
As far as we're
because of the
concerned,
court case.
no, as far as we're concerned, we are going to court. We continue to the right to obey whatever is the court order. But there's no court order stopping them from doing the right thing.
If we move a little bit away from that and look at the issues of the projects that are ongoing right now, we just excitedly spoke about the 20 days of commission. In terms of figures and numbers of youths and Nigerians who will be engaged in all these activities, can we have some kind of estimate? Because naturally, with this quantum of projects, definitely some Nigerians are off the street.
If you take one project, I see the number of people involved as far as development is concerned. It's huge. It's huge. So if you say 20 projects, either be it provision of water in the satellite time, either be it in terms of consumption, you are taking up not less than 2,000 youths engaged. That is direct, not even the indirect. And that's going on. So you can see the employment generation that has created. You see that people also who are not working directly, who will be supplying other things to the various contractors. So it's quite huge. It's quite huge.
All right, Honorable Mr. Adnan, I must really commend you for that because in my hometown of Karu, for example, you're given several projects and I know that some youths have been engaged of recent by the contractors. But I want to ask, Honorable Minister, do you have a tourism master plan for Abuja? Because people say Abuja is soulless. You come inside the city, no arts, nothing. It just looks in the dead of the night. It just looks somehow. And then secondly, sir, Abuja has one of the best sewage system, drainage system. And of recent, people have been complaining that the drainage system have been having problems whenever it rains. Sometimes people's cars get, went in the middle
Because you
of
talk
the
about
environmental protection.
blockage and the rest of it. And of course, that's why we're also saying that people must not build on the drainage system. I'm sure when you see the drainage control, bringing down houses or what's the you begin to wonder why they doing this, people are suffering. Just look at what happened recently. I went there myself to see the houses being built by the police. We are building roads that will lead to what do you call it? Local government. And it is under the high tension. And the rural control said, we don't give you approval to do this. So when they went there, they were all arrested. And I called the IG and said, look, this is not acceptable. And I went there by myself and I complained to the IG. And I said, look, we are going to look into it. But I said, this property must go down. And we have to bring them down. I went there by myself. In fact, there was one in Kadua where they say a former chief of naval staff was given for Pakistan. For how many years? And I'm going to go there today after the council, after the FCT, the committee meeting. I'm going to go there by myself and see it for myself. We can't allow this to continue simply because you occupied this position before and then you just take government land. Oh, for how many years that would you say that was given to you? Over 15 years and nothing had happened. And the government said, no, we can't allow it. Government has taken back their property.
Is that the same reason why you took over the University of Abuja?
No, I think you have to correct this impression that what he said is the same reason. First of all, I have told you, in 2018, the government revoked this and said, you cannot own 11,000 hectares of land. It did not start on them. The EFCC there, the state security is there. And we have given them about 4,000 hectares. Yes, look at the politics. It's unfortunate.
They said the 4,000 you give them is mostly hilly areas.
People are looking for such hilly areas. I was watching ASU, the former ASU president. I know him very well. We cannot continue with this kind of blackmail. We can continue with that. Now put it as a condition where we will call off the strike. Was it part of the demand? Was it part of the conditions you give to government? Now we have said, and look at what he said. Why is the government not taking the one? He said, how will continue? He said, a country will be when you want to do the right thing. Somebody comes with all kinds of threats. I would not subject. I would not.
All right, Honorable Minister, you haven't answered my question whether there's a tourism master plan for
No,
Abuja.
sir. I am coming. Why not wait? Why not? You ask for tourism, you have for sewage, you have this. And we have been able to answer the one of sewage and so what development control is built. We have to be patient. That it has to be taken one by one. Remember last time you talked about education. And I told you that we are going to go into education. And I said, look, for now, you have taken a break. Ordinarily would have gone into what we are doing in education. I think when we come back, after the break we have taken, you will see what we are doing in education. Just take it easy. Remember, you also asked last time about the health sector. I said, no, because we will take this thing one by one. And by the time we come back for our break, you see what we are doing in terms of health sector, in terms of education. So just be relax. Everybody wants to have a bit of
So you have something.
If I may, just a moment, if I may, there is this issue about the green areas. We've been hearing conversations around how a lot of people have converted those spaces to either they've converted them or they're not being used for what they had said they were going to use it for. But only very recently, a group of women, had reason to complain because according to them, their own space, they have applied it to what exactly they said, what they were given that space for. And they had cause to complain. They said even after they had been called for verification, it was not yet their turn when their place was demolished. That they have been operating that area for the last 14 years. They had visuals to show what it was like when it was in operation, and that one day they just woke up and their place had been demolished. And that when
They are not owing.
yeah, they're not owing ground rent. They
ground
paid their
rent
ground rent.
First of all, you can't pay ground rent when the property is not yours.
But they pay.
But they
Government
pay.
collects.
Hold on. You pay ground rent when you have a certificate of occupancy. How can you pay ground rent when you don't have certificate of occupancy?
Does it mean some officials in FCT?
See, some of these things are not correct. Some of these things are not correct. I know people trying to bring a motion, which we accept, oh yes, people are shouting. Let them prove that look at our CFO, and we are paying. There's a difference between statutory right of occupancy and certificate of occupancy.
But if that place doesn't contravene urban development, why not encourage them to keep that kind of a place and regularize their status? Because it was adding to the beauty of the place, it was adding to employment and all
I
of
have
that.
told you here when they are with Pasang, go to lease for so many number of years. And people are coming with a policy that no, this cannot continue this way. It is the property of the federal capital territory. Now this is what we want to do. And for Christ's sake, I said, look, this is the new policy. And you have to follow the rules.
Honorable Minister, but shouldn't their years of investment have been considered? These women said they started.
It's not about women. I don't want to.
No, just a moment.
No.
I'm not trying to emotionally blackmail
The
you.
issue is not women. And this is what I will not take.
But,
The point you are taking, whether you are women, whether you are men,
all right.
this is the policy of government.
Let's use people.
And that you have to follow according to the rules. So this beating your
All right, let's use
women,
people.
I will not
Honorable
agree to
Minister,
that.
Couldn't the rule be bent a little bit to accommodate the years of
labor
that they have put in,
They said
whether they
they
are
are
women
going
or
to the
not,
labor
and all of
market.
that. And again, the allegation is that now that you have revoked it and trees were even put
It's
down.
not about
and all of that,
revoke. You
the
don't
people-
even have a title before you talk about revocation.
Bishop, could they
Yeah,
have been
but the
in
people who are coming
September?
back there are going to be doing pretty the same thing that they were doing in that place.
That's not correct.
Okay, so what the government wants to do with that place?
We always attach emotions to what they say, which is not right. What I'm trying to say is that is what was it before? And what's the policy of government now? The policy of government said, we have taken back all these lease agreement you had with departments. Some people say, what do you call them? If you go to WUPA, you can't believe what has happened. People have now come to say they're building real estate. Come on, how? These are the things they shout and say, oh, we had an agreement with the Abuja Environmental Protection Agency. And no. Since last year, it's the policy of government that look, we have to take back our land. And that's what is going on. I am not particularly against anybody. but you have to follow the rules, and that's it. Whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, it's not our business. Our business is follow the laid down rules so that this will
Now,
go
now,
on.
Minister, I have two concerns, particularly concerning the tourism sector. In as much as the FCT administration is doing a lot of work in ensuring that the FCT is kept in, one particular sport that has been neglected for a lot of years is the Jabi Lake. And with the number of developments springing up around there, the water is dirty, the smell there is very pungent. Is there anything your administration is going to do regarding that? That is one. Then secondly, on the issue of manhole covers that were recovered from thieves who had stolen them and sold to scrap metal dealers. Up until now, we have not seen proper replacement of those stolen manhole covers in certain parts of the city, particularly the central business district. Is there anything your administration is doing regarding those
It
replacements?
is not correct. It is not correct. We have been replacing the manholes. It is our
But
property.
they are still empty manhole covers.
Obviously, that you will say that all these have not been completed, but something's going on. Something's going on. So it is the truth. Something is going on. The point we are making is that, yeah, people expect that within so time you would have completed. I was telling the patient. Today you put this mango back. Tomorrow you see people going to destroy them, to go and sell them. It will take time, but I know that at the end of the day we will sort it out.
Let's
All
talk
right,
about
that's
security. Honorable Minister,
concerning
sorry, there's still a question on the table that the minister has not answered, and I think that has to do with I think something that asked this question much earlier, the tourism development plan.
And the Abuja Environmental Protection Board, they said this sanitation in the city.
Yeah, the tourism development plan that my colleague from ASU was what Chijoke was trying to build up about the Gabili. Isn't it, I mean, is there a plan to turn it to a tourism
Of course, something,
venture for
of course,
FCT?
something's going on. Just like you said, oh, we're sitting down to say, how do we develop
The Gabili into a tourism site.
go and see what is going on. It's a mess. But we're thinking of the policy that look, we have to redredge the place and clean it up. People have come to say, look, we're interested as a tourist attraction.